Today we'll discuss how to pre-press a 4-color process full bleed ad. This could also be a poster, postcard, etc. The first thing I do is to package the approved file as is, as long as none of the supporting files are missing. This way I get to keep all my working files like my layered PSDs and non-outline vectored images in case I need to access them in the future. I'll make all the necessary changes to the files in the new folder, which should have collected and linked all the images in one place. I'll label the InDesign file as FNL Final. Let's open it. The pre-press stage is one of the last lines of defenses to check for typos, so I like to start by running a spell check. Next, check the size. There's the trim size, bleed size, and live area. If running in a magazine, get these sizes from your publication. Go to File and Document Setup to check the dimensions of the trim size, which is the actual size of the piece where the paper will be trimmed. Next, add bleed, which is the boundary outside the trim. Bleed is used so that when the printed paper is cut, blank paper won't be shown on the edges. Bleed is usually 1/8 inch or 0.125 inches on all sides. Lastly, check the live area, which is a boundary within the trim size where important elements like type and logos should be placed. This is to ensure that if the paper shifts when being trimmed, those elements will not get hacked off. Go to Layout and Margins and Columns. This is usually 1/4 inch inside the trim. With your guides on, you can see the magenta bleed line, the purple live area, and the black border is the trim. Pull any elements touching the border to the bleed line. Make sure copy is within the live area. We need to nudge the logo up a bit. Next step is to check color. Let's open our swatches panel, Window, Color, Swatches. We need to convert or get rid of any RGB or PMS colors. Let's trash this red PMS. The Pantone 286 trash icon is grayed out, which means it's being used in one of the images. We'll have to change it in the image first, then delete it in InDesign later. Lastly, we need to check the images. I go into the Links panel and open to check each image. I'll start with this rastered or pixelized image first. Check the resolution. I size my images at 300 dpi and make sure they aren't scaled over 125% in InDesign. 62% is good. Next, make sure colored images are in CMYK mode. To clean up and decrease file size, I like to flatten any layers and remove any paths. Finally, I save them as TIFF files. Now let's check the vectored image. Again, make sure it is in CMYK color mode, which it's not. Check all color swatches to make sure they are all process colors. Here's the spot color. Double click on it, change color mode to CMYK, color type to process color, uncheck global and rename. Finally, convert type to outlines. Select your type, go to type and create outlines, so there won't be any font issues, and save. Let's rename it FNL. Back in InDesign, relink any updated images. We need to replace the PSD file to the TIFF file we created, and update the vectored logo with the new one we labeled FNL. Now that we deleted the 286 blue spot color in our vectored image, we should be able to convert it to CMYK. Remember before the trash was grayed out. Under File, select Package. Make sure there are no errors. There will be a yellow caution symbol in this area if there is. Check each tab, then press Package. This should create our new final folder. Remember to delete the old one. Once collected, I usually compress the folder as a zipped file, and this is the file I will upload. Some publications will ask for PDFs. If so, save it as a PDF X1A file. Go to File, Export, choose Format to Adobe PDF Print, press Save. Choose PDF X1A 2001. Under Marks and Bleeds, check Crop Marks, Registration Marks, and turn on Document Bleed Settings and press Export.